Hello, welcome to Record Sports Hotline Live, brought to you by NordVPN. My name is Daniel Cott. I'm delighted to say I'm joined slightly later today. We apologise for that by the one and only Keith Jackson. Keith, some technical gremlins have taken over this afternoon.
Well, you can see that. For no other reason than I now suddenly know what it's like to be your size.
How dare you?
Apologies. That was we've had absolute technical disasters here. But we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to squeeze in, Dan. So if you want to kick us off, because we've got some important stuff.
Aye, absolutely. I mean, Mac, they're saying we've got no clocks at Daily Record Towers. Control Alt Left says we must be Nicholson time. So, apologies for all that. We need to start with Martin O'Neill, Keith.
Yeah.
Obviously, Celtic put it out today that he's had a small procedure, I think was how they mentioned it, in hospital. They say that he should be out, hopefully, of hospital in a day or two. And I guess we just wish him well, just hope he's okay.
100%. Of course, that's Martin O'Neill's health here. What I would say is there's been a lot of kind of irresponsible scaremongering flying about, as there always is on social media. From what I'm able to establish, I think Celtic fans can relax. I believe that the statement from the club is absolutely spot on. This is fairly minor, fingers crossed. I've seen all sorts of suggestions about what sort of surgery has been required. I'm assured that it's not as serious as some people are making it out to be, and it should be a couple of days, and he should be out and fit and ready to go again. So hopefully that can allay any fears, because there have been some pretty crazy rumours flying about in the last couple of hours.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be joined soon from Helsinki by the one and only Scott Burns, who's there, obviously ahead of Motherwell facing HJK on their quest to win this season's Conference League, which I'm sure they will. But before that, Keith, you've got a Rangers transfer bit of news for us before I bring Scott Burns in.
Literally, and that's another thing, just before we come on here, I was trying to batter something out. Just got it confirmed from Holland in the last 20 minutes. That Rangers have open talks now with PSV Eindhoven about a deal for Kuhai Drieck, left winger, 24 years old, Moroccan, a really talented boy, as a matter of fact. I think he went to PSV for €3.5 million 2 years ago. The suggestion, what I'm being told, is that PSV are looking to double that. I think Rangers have made an initial offer which has been rejected, but I think they're fully aware of the price that will need to be matched in order to get this deal done. Also, I'm told from Holland that the player himself has been told he will be free to leave if that fee is met. And I think Rangers are quite relaxed to meet it. So that now feels like a bit of business. Unless Burnsy's about to tell very different, I think is a real goer and could be done in the next couple of days. Rangers have had their eye on him for a couple of years, actually. I think they were in the market for him when he went to PSV from Excelsior. Plays on the left-hand side. Rangers have obviously just done a deal on the hand side with Yakato. If I get that right once, for 2.75 million. So having gone to Tannadice last Friday night with hardly any wingers to speak of, by this weekend it looks as if Derek McInnes could have a new right winger and a new left winger in his squad. But you know, these things are never done until they're done. The curious thing is that RB Salzburg are also sniffing around for Drieck. And that, of course, is Rangers' former manager, Danny Rowe. I think that Rangers are aware of that interest, which is why they've moved very quickly over the course of today to open up initial official conversations with PSV and kind of get to near what the price is going to have to look like.
Interesting. Well, whatever happens, you'll hear it here first on Record Sport.
Burnsy's now about to come on and tell us that's all rubbish.
We're joined now by Scott Burns live in Helsinki. Burnsy, how's it going? How's the weather?
Very good. That is very sunny. It's very different from my last visit. Yeah. I don't even remember, a few years ago they played Aberdeen in the Conference League, and the match almost got abandoned because of snowballs being thrown from the Aberdeen fan at the HJK goalkeeper, and there was a big tannoy announcement. The game will be postponed unless the snowballs are stopped. So I don't think there's such a worry tomorrow night.
That's the kind of scenes you want to see in European football, isn't it, Keith? That's exactly what you want to see.
What, people throwing missiles on from the pitch?
I meant snowballs, you know, it's all good fun. But Burnsy, obviously Motherwell are there. They are looking absolutely brilliant this season. Another huge win for them at Easter Road. How do we think they'll get on against HJK?
I think tomorrow night will be interesting. But I think over the two legs, I think Motherwell will get past HJK. But I think the Finnish team, they're struggling domestically. They're sitting fourth. And a lot of their players are available for transfer. So I don't think they go into it in the best of circumstances. And I know, speaking to them manager earlier on today, they think that Motherwell are favourites. So it'll be interesting. But Alfred Johansson's made a really positive start at Motherwell, and he'll be looking to continue that after 3 wins.
He definitely has, and I think a lot of people, Keith, worried that Elijah Just was gone. Who else went? Elliot Watt. But Motherwell,
Callum Ward.
Aye, of course, like Callum Ward as well. But Motherwell seem to just keep motoring on, and like I said, they've looked really impressive in the few games they've had so far.
Yeah, Burnsy, that was the thing for me. I must tell you, I so enjoyed watching them at Easter Road at the weekend. And I think it wasn't because it was new, it was because it wasn't new. It was exactly what we saw from them last season. They were a joy to behold, they were a joy to watch in the Premier League last season. And it looks very much as if under a new manager, that's exactly how they plan to continue, which I think is great news for the game in this country in general. I honestly enjoy watching Motherwell more than any other side in the league over the last 12 months.
As you say, last season they were a breath of fresh air under Jens Bertolaski. And obviously when Jens went to lose at the end of the season, they were looking for a new manager. And in fairness to the Motherwell hierarchy, they've gone with the seeding DNA and looking for a similar type manager who plays in the same style.
That's clever, isn't it?
But the one thing I would say about Alfred Johansson is that I've been very impressed with everything he's done in the press so far. But by all accounts, he plays, and even in a more attacking manner than Jens Bertolaski. So that'll be interesting. So there might be some highs and there might be some lows along the way. But the one thing, I think it'll be exciting for Motherwell this season.
I'm actually excited to see them in Europe. Because I think they've got to get. I think they might surprise a lot of teams because there is the natural tendency to think it'll be a typical Scottish side. I think this Motherwell side is almost designed to succeed in European football. So I'm fingers crossed. They've got off to a great start to the season, and domestically and in Europe. And I'm with you, Burnsy. I can see a decent result. One thing I want to ask you though, because I've been banging this particular drum, we know that Rangers and Celtic are both in the market for a left back. I'm astonished that nobody's been knocking the door at Motherwell about Longolo. Have you heard anything?
Nothing with Rangers and Celtic. I know there was interest for Major League Soccer earlier in the window. Be interested to see if that develops, but there has been nothing from Rangers or Celtic. But the other one as well, I mean, Longo's done really well at left back. The other one, Will Ferry. I mean, Celtic are looking at him. He's been brilliant the last couple of seasons. And both Rangers and Celtic Celtic certainly, he's on their list. Whether it goes any higher, I don't know. But surely it's one that Rangers should be looking at as well.
No brainer, Burnsy.
I'd have thought so. Burnsy, before we let you go, what's your prediction? How do you think Motherwell will get on?
I think it might be a draw tomorrow night, and then Motherwell to win it at Fir Park. And then obviously they've got the Bundesliga team in the next round. That should be touch and go. And then maybe the group stages.
Fingers
And before
crossed.
you go, Bunsey, what have you got in your big magic bag of transfers?
You're the one, you've stolen all the transfers out of my magic bag, you know what I mean? I've lost it now, you've stolen it.
It's not my first rodeo, Bunsey. Come on, what have you got for us?
I think Celtic-wise, obviously, they're still but I think that the clubs who are interested in their players are becoming very frustrated. West Ham are obviously, they will go back in for Arnie Engels, but they're finding negotiations very, very difficult. It's even to the extent of maybe not even getting to the valuation, but taking forever to get a response to offer, etc. But I think obviously Engels would be keen to go to West Ham, but it's whether they can hit the magic number. And it's the same with Alistair Johnson at Everton. He wasn't Everton's first choice for right back, but it was the easiest one they thought they could do. And it's turned out that it's been pretty difficult. So, and they're now looking at other options. So, whether Celtic hold their nerve, will the players kick off? I don't know. Will they remain behind the cause? The next few weeks will be interesting. But I think Celtic will spend big, but I would expect at least one of these to go before the end of the window. And that's more likely to be Engels.
Burnsy, massively appreciate you coming on. Hope it's an absolute cracker for you. And see you soon.
All the best, lads. Take care.
Cheers, Burnsy. We've also got Craig Swan, who's going to come on as well from Lisbon. Keith, we're getting tons of comments about the echo that you're getting apart from your end.
I'm getting an echo in my ear. I apologise for that. I was hoping that wouldn't be the case.
People are saying to me, read the comments and all that. We're trying to sort it, guys. Bear with me.
Why don't we go? Because we earlier on today, our two intrepid reporters, Andy Newport and Scott McDermott, they recorded a bit of video ahead of Rangers Europa League first leg tie in Poland tomorrow. They're over there. Why don't we play that? Hope it doesn't have an echo on it, and see if producer Henrik can work his magic for the rest of the show.
We've got a lovely place, isn't it? 30 degrees. I don't know if that'll be a factor in for the game tomorrow night, because it's an early-ish kick-off on at 6 o'clock, but no, a really nice place. It's a vital tie, Andy, in terms of Rangers' European prospects, obviously, and I think it's a tough one to start. Derek McInnes is still the start of this kind of Rangers rebuild, if you like. Still trying to put together a squad. Obviously he's got a new signing, Daisuke Yokota.
You've nailed the pronunciation again.
I know.
Every week.
I pride myself on that. So he's on the plane and eligible to play. It wouldn't surprise me if Derek McInnes throws him right in, such as his desperation for any right winger or any winger wanting to play in the right. But it's a tough place to come. Jagiellonia is a decent side. From everything I've heard, I'm sure we'll talk about it. I spoke to some people who have been here and experienced it, and it's a hostile environment. So for a first European game of the season, the Rangers are still trying to kind of get their rhythm. We saw that Tannadice on Friday night. I think it's a really tough time. I think Rangers in the first leg, if they can just get out of here, making sure they're still well in the tie, to hopefully go and finish the job at Ibrox next week, then I think that will be a result for them.
Just to start off then with the news we had this morning, I think it was about 10 o'clock UK time, 11 o'clock where we are, the signing of Daisuke Yokota from Hannover 96 in Germany was confirmed. For you, is that the end of Rangers sort of search for wide options out on the right hand side, or do you think that there'll be more to come?
No, I think there's more to come. I think we'll agree that I think Derek McInnes' position at the moment is he needs two right wingers. Yokota's the first one, but I think we'll be back in the market for another one. So he's inherited a squad where I think every wide player wants to play on the left hand side. You think of guys like Finlay Curtis, Jade Gassama, even Oliver Antman, even Asgard, they all want to play off the left. Don't have a natural right winger at all. So Yokota,
it's been a position that you're talking about. Maybe Daniel Kindeas was really the last time he had a natural right-sided winger. I mean, obviously Scott Olsen was the last year, but so disappointing.
Cherny was probably the most successful one, wasn't he? I mean, he showed what you need in that position. I think 18 goals in his loan season that he had. I'm sure a lot of Rangers fans would be desperate to get him back if it was possible. It doesn't look likely at the moment, but no, I think he wants two in that position. And I think also he probably wants one in the left as well, because as much as obviously Antman's away, Bayrami's away, Asgard's more central, Curtis is obviously still a young player developing. He gave Derek McInnes gave Gassama a big chance at Tannadice and he just didn't take it. And I think that was a real opportunity for Gassama. I don't know how you felt at the game, but given what Gassama's done in kind of pre-season, I felt as if that was Derek McInnes saying, right, so on you go, I'm giving you a big chance here to go and grab this because I need somebody in that position. And he didn't do it. First 45 minutes weren't good enough, and he gets whipped off at half time. To be honest, for me, it sort of sums up Jedi Gassama. I mean, I think he's such a frustrating player. He's clearly got talent. Yeah. He's got ability, he's got pace, he can run, he can dribble, he can shoot. But again, it's a bit like at times Taylor Asgard. It's just how he pieces it all together. How does he play in moments or does he play consistently? And more often than not, it's not consistent at all. And for me, I look at him. I think he's so much more effective when the game's ragged, when the game's open, when there's spaces to attack. And inevitably, when you're playing for a team like Rangers, who are going to be so dominant on the ball, and the teams are going to be sitting in such tight formations that really that's only really in the later stage of the game when things get broken up a wee bit. So for me, he's an impact. So I don't think he's a starter. I think the same sort of maybe goes for a Finlay Curtis. I think you'll see he's more benefit right now where he is in his career off the bench. So Rangers really need to go out and get two proper starting wingers. I mean, you think Yokota will start tomorrow night? I've got a feeling they might just throw him in.
I do, but only on the basis because I don't think they've got nobody really else. I mean, as you say, they experimented with sort of Nadiri playing sort of wide to the right. Dundee United didn't work at all really. Although we obviously see he got a hat-trick in a sort of bounce-low game against, I think it was Partick Thistle. So maybe that's omens, against the team called the Jags that play in red and yellow. But no, I think it'll be a needs must. He has to start. They've obviously rushed through there. We believe that he's on the plane out here to Poland. He should be. They've obviously rushed through trying to get him his visa and his work permit sorted so he can play. I mean, just looking at his stats, I think it was five goals and sort of 4 or 5 assists last season in the sort of Bundesliga 2. Yeah. Are those numbers that really get you excited?
Like, it's tough to say no. I mean, second division in Germany, I think it's 5 goals, 4 assists. I mean, I don't think. I think Rangers fans will be delighted that they've got a right winger in, and by all accounts, he's a player that's been kind of highly rated in Germany. I think a lot of clubs were interested in him, Bundesliga clubs. Look, he's 26. He's not a cap for Japan yet, which is interesting. I thought he'd have been a fully fledged international. So look, it's a gamble. I said this last week in the pod. I think apart from you look at the Cammy Devlin, Lawrence Shanklin, and even Ross McCrory signings, for instance, you can know what you're getting for these guys, but when you go and spend 2-3 million, that kind of bracket of fee for a player, I think it's always a gamble. I think Olefu Macania falls into that category as well. At the back, when you take a 22-year-old South African for the MLS, there's no way that you know that the guy's going to be a success. You're taking a punt, you're taking a £2-3 million punt on someone who's going to come in, really excel and develop in the hope that you can make a profit off him ultimately, as well as actually the player doing the job at the minute. And I think Yokota's slightly different because he's older, but no, the stats don't immediately get you off your seat. But he's played at a good level. Rangers have obviously watched him. and I think he'll get thrown straight in. I think Derek McInnes is so desperate to be some kind of end product on the right flank that he'll just throw him in. But Rangers don't have time really to experiment with players. We say this every season. Don't have time to experiment or allow players settling in periods. I mean, even Celtic league opener the other night. I know Casper, who had been playing in Norway, and but he just got thrown straight in. So it wasn't a case of let's let him bed in. And I think Rangers need to do the same.
For me, with you quote, I mean, I watched some of the clips. You can get suckered in by these YouTube clips, can't you? These highlights reels, because I mean, I looked at that world beater, but I remember thinking the same Cyril Dessers, and the thing with these things, they never show you the moments where the ball bounces off them, or they don't track a runner, or they fail to make a 5-yard pass.
Look, just sorry to put in, but the example of that is Antman.
Yeah.
I mean, Antman comes in as the top assist maker in Eredivisie, and you think, this guy has to be a success. I mean, if you're creating the most chances, most goals in the Dutch top flight, you're a Finnish international, you should be able to cut it in Scottish football. But couldn't they really? Rangers have had to offload them, and now they're trying the next guy.
The thing that was interesting, the comment I saw online was that somebody was saying that he's somebody who tends to go missing or disappears against low blocks, which again that rings alarm bells for me, because I think that's exactly what Rangers are going to face majority of the time. But in terms of Europe, if you're somebody that enjoys having that freedom to roam and spaces to attack, then you imagine, certainly in the type of game we're going to see tomorrow night, that might be the type of affair that suits him. But just in terms of him, even in Germany, you're second division in Germany, you're facing pretty intimidating atmospheres, some pretty loud atmospheres. But just on Mecania, I mean, him coming into this kind of environment that we're going to see tomorrow night, I mean, we'll remember the sort of noise and the passion and the colour that was created when Rangers came here a few years ago to face Legia Warsaw, and I wasn't there that night, but I was speaking to some of the colleagues that we've travelled out here with who were there that night, and they said it's up there with the loudest atmospheres they've ever experienced. So you imagine Mecania coming in for an MLS, with best respect to the world, it is an entirely different world, isn't it? Worlds apart. So I mean, is that a gamble itself on him, or is it again needs must because of Ben Godfrey's injury means that they're down to the bare bones?
Needs must. Massive jump for Mecania, massive test coming into it, but again, I think he has to get thrown in, he has to start. Godfrey's injured. You would expect the back four to be Sterling, Fernandes, Mecania and Romans. I think that's, obviously Ross McCrory could come in, Sterling could win one. That's an option for Derek McInnes, but he has to get Mecania up and running as soon as possible. He's played left centre back a lot. You look at a lot of his MLS games, MLS clips, even though I don't think he's naturally left footed, but he's played a lot on the left, he's comfortable there, so I expect him to get thrown in. He obviously played in that bounce game as well, or he certainly played a part of it. So I think he'll play, and you're right.
He's surprised at John Souttar. I know, listen, it's been made pretty clear by Derek McInnes that he's not going to be part of his plans this season, but he's on there. He's just been a World Cup with Scotland. He's an experienced, he was a former vice captain of the team. We expect him to leave, but we saw, for example, Hearts, having agreed to sell Alexander Schmolo back to Germany, and still started him in a couple of the first few games of the season. Is there not an argument made that John Souttar's better than W in that sense?
Aye, maybe. I mean, I'm surprised just at the kind of rapid demise of Souttar over a short period of time. I mean, as you say, from being a fairly regular player for Rangers and going to a World Cup to just be totally out of the picture. But listen, the club and Derek McInnes have made that decision, so I suppose you could argue if they've decided he's not going to be part of it, then they're better just out of it. But
maybe, and also the counter argument, if he gets an injury, exactly, then he's stuck here, and Rangers are still struggling to get rid of guys.
It was the Andy Newport and Scott McDermott there in Poland, and magically I'm joined all the way from Lisbon by Craig Swanee. First of all, I'm sorry to keep you waiting there. That was bad. We hit the clip just as you joined, so apologies for that.
That's all right. I'm sorry I appear to be hiding in the shadows here, but it's down to the fact that it's so incredibly windy. You might be able to pick me up if I stand anywhere else. So probably best. I'll look my best if you can't see me.
It looks quite hot as well. Quite hot, I guess.
Yeah, it's hot, but I suppose a good thing for Hearts is that there's very little humidity here. When you're out, it's not humid, it's warm when you're in the sun, but it's, when you come out the sun and in the shade, it cools and there's a breeze. So hopefully we need to kick off for Hearts and shouldn't be too tight. Listen, that's something we're going to touch on. It's going to be hot enough on the pitch to have it full hand overhead.
I was going to say that, Swanee. Look, I mean, it's a glamorous tie for Hearts. It'll be a great kind of venue and stadium for the players to play in. But I don't know about you, I'm really scared for them tomorrow night. Yeah.
I think that 5-0 victory over St Gallen last week, the second leg for Benfica was a real win for Hearts. They were excellent. Trying to make a big impression in Marco Silva's first competitive game. So maybe they were going extra all out to try and make it better. But I have to say, it was not encouraging from a Hearts point of view, especially given the way Hearts shipped goals against Sturm Graz, and also the way they lost the lead to concerning.
I mean, in terms of the team, it sort of picks itself at the minute, doesn't it? I mean, you would imagine it will be a similar Hearts team to the one that played at Aberdeen, and I should say, again, I don't know what you think, but I actually thought for large spells the Aberdeen game Hearts were pretty good, and see the first leg against Sturm Graz as well. I thought Hearts were actually pretty decent. I feel they scored a couple of goals. So look, there is kind of chinks of light, maybe, getting through.
I think the biggest issue probably, and especially in the European ties, and will be the case, you would imagine, tomorrow night, is Hearts have been reasonably pretty high when they've had the ball. There was periods in the game in Austria when they looked good, but out of possession, teams are just getting through them so easily. You know, the goals were lost late in the game was obviously disappointing. Sturm Graz picked them off at will in the last round, and Benfica far better team than Sturm Graz. So, you know, you've got Vangelis scored the 4 goals last week. The man's on fire just now, obviously. So, listen, you want to be as hopeful as you possibly can for Hearts, but the warning signs are ahead of this game.
And the new manager, Wouter Franken, is probably, you could forgive him for thinking, Swanee, what have I walked into here? This is mad.
Yeah, there was always going to be a period of transition. I mean, there's a lot of changes in the team. We all know that. A bit of revolving door during the summer. Important players leaving, new guys coming in. It would take a new manager to take the bit in anyway, even if it was a second squad. If you put a change squad on top of that as well, he's got a heck of a task on his hands. I think a lot of managers of Scottish clubs have found that these European qualifiers can be a bit of a noisy challenge. You can get some. You know, we look at Jagiellonia, when he was going to be a really heavy Alkmaar and things like that. It really sets you back. You know, Lee Johnston lost to, you know, the man of things, the Dorian team or Gibraltar team, I can't remember. But you know, you can get a tie like tomorrow night is the last thing Hearts need just as a manager's trying to get something settled, trying to get back. You know, if it was done on Sunday, you could think about getting a bit of lift off there. I think the Hearts players are maybe alluding to the fact that they just got one win and went on flying, but quite how they're going to go about getting Lisbon. Anyone else?
Before I let you go, Swanee, what's your prediction? Do you see any chance that Hearts can get anything tomorrow night?
I'd love to say yes, but I would be fibbing, to be honest with you. I think this Benfica team just like on a different level to Hearts, really. And if they play the way they did last Thursday, it's a batten down the Hearts job. Just try to stay in the tie somehow. Now, even if it was to end up 2 or 3, you know, tight. Benfica would still be huge favourites in Scotland as well, just a bit even Hearts. But you want them to have some sort of hope when they come home from the release.
Nice, absolutely. Well, look, Swanee, I hope it's an absolute cracker for you. I hope it goes well. I hope the weather stays lovely, and safe travels up the road when the time comes.
Thank you, Dan. All the best.
Cheers, Swanee. Thanks. Sorry for keeping you waiting again. Much appreciated.
That's all right. Locking
cheers,
in
mate.
Cheers.
See you soon. Craig Swan there in Lisbon, and I think that brings us to the end of tonight's Hotline Live, brought to you by NordVPN. Can only apologise for all of our sound issues. Keith is obviously logged off early. I know that he had a big echo, but you want to hear Keith twice, don't you? 2 Keith Jacksons. That's what we all want in life. We apologise for that. We will labour to get it sorted, and we'll be back tomorrow at a slightly later time. We'll be back after Rangers full-time whistle. So I think we'll be back about 7 o'clock, 7:15. So we hope you can join us then. Apologies again for the sound issues tonight. I hope you can join us tomorrow. Cheers.